This morning we are live on site with Billy in DY, going to do a pre-settlement inspection. So often your solicitor will ask you as a buyer to do a pre-settlement inspection. What the hell is that? We're going to talk about it this morning. Stay tuned.
Good morning.
Pre-settlement Billy.
This is pre-settlement Billy on site at a stunning property in DY we sold 6 weeks ago, and that day's come around really quickly to get the purchaser through, make sure they do their checks, and today it will be settled and they take ownership. And
Billy, have you put foundation on this morning?
No, but I did. I just tidied myself up and I got Mum to give me a haircut because, I went out on the weekend and had no luck, so something had to change.
All right, so we're going to do a pre-settlement inspection. So I'm a purchaser. My lawyer has said to me, hey, good news, we're settling on Monday today at 2:30. We need you to get into the property prior to it settling, and we need you to have a look around. And the first thing you think as a buyer is, what the hell do I look at? Oh my God, what am I doing? I hope I do the right thing. I hope I check everything, I see everything, I don't miss anything. What do we look out for, Billy? Should we start from the front door, or what do we actually look out for when we're doing a pre-settlement inspection?
I think let's start from the front door. That's a good idea. Now, pre-settlement inspection, so in an ideal world, the property is vacant and it's cleaned, it's ready to go. But you've got to understand as a purchaser as well, the owner has every right up until the time of settlement. So midday, for example, on the day, they got every right to be in the property, living in the property, they own the property. And so sometimes it's tricky because people are moving out. You guys obviously want to see the property empty. So sometimes we try to line these up 24 to 48 hours before the day of. But in some scenarios, we just do it nice and early. And so that's why I'm here this morning with our lovely buyer Tom at 7:30, and then we can see the property in its most empty form. Now, it's not quite perfect, but it's as close to as perfect. And what we can always do, or if you're worried about not seeing the property completely empty, is come back with some photos, or do a quick FaceTime through towards midday. But don't leave that inspection too late, because as a purchaser, if anything does need to be fixed, you still need to leave a little bit of time for that to be negotiated with the solicitors. You don't want to do it too late, because if it knocks on, it will delay settlement. That's tip and trick number one.
So, Billy, what's the worst thing that can happen on a pre-settlement? Like, what, as a buyer, what do you think to yourself? I don't want to walk in and this to go wrong, or I don't want to see this. What's the bad stuff that can happen?
The property burnt down. That's probably the worst. Fundamentally, you're there to check that everything is there in the same condition as when you bought it. So, if you going into the property and when you're there, you saw a dishwasher and you saw the stove and a range hood and all those appliances have now disappeared, then you've got a bit of a problem. It can still be fixed and still negotiated, but you just want to make sure everything's in the same condition. So worst case scenario is just things like that. And out of all the pre-settlements we do, I have to say it's the 0.1% that ever has something go wrong. In most cases, it's all pretty smooth.
It's rare.
Yeah.
So you're actually there live with the purchaser today.
Yeah, I can't show Tom. Tom's quite nervous. Background.
There he is. We'll show that's the back of Tom. Show us the back of Tom.
Can we get a shout from this side? We're just gonna.
There he is. You can't. Hi, Tom. All right. So is Tom happy? Is Tom happy?
Are you happy? Yeah. So Tom's happy. Tom was talking through sort of his plans this morning, which is pretty exciting. So he's gonna get stuck in and do a bit of work once he's ready. So he's gonna do new floors. He's gonna do painting, maybe some ceiling fans, Just give it a bit of love in all departments, which is pretty exciting.
Hey, quick question for Tom. You don't have to have him on camera, but can you ask him what was his expectation of today's meeting? What was he told to do on today's meeting, and by who?
So did you have any like expectations, or did your solicitor say this is what you've got to check this, check that?
No, really.
No.
Just, so since Amy, my girlfriend, bought a place.
Yep.
And her place was just full of stuff she didn't want.
Yep.
So that was more why we came.
Making
just to
sure
make
it's
sure that
empty.
everything there wasn't just random stuff left that we didn't want.
Mainly making sure it's emptied out, which is a big thing. Some buyers come in with like a checklist, a pre-settlement checklist from their solicitor. But all in all, it's the same sort of principle. You're just there to make sure everything's in the same condition. Your appliances work. So you do things like just test the stovetop. You can, test the gas. You can turn on the dishwasher if the property has one. Just small things like that. Turn the lights on. You can see the lights are on behind me. Yeah.
And I think the big thing that purchasers, probably the biggest misconception purchasers have, is it's often a test of working or not working, or good quality or bad quality. And that's not really the case. So it doesn't really come down to, is it all in top working order? It's a case of how was it when I saw it, and is it now matching? So I know Luke's mentioned water leaks. Like if there was a bad storm after you purchased the property and the property was damaged, that's something good to check. I sold my property party that went wrong. It's where from when you actually saw it to when you bought it to now, and making sure it's matchy. So sometimes I have seen clients swap out an appliance of lesser value, and purchasers pull them up on that. But the big thing is that they're moving out of the property. They're en route, and we should be all right by settlement. For example, if it's 2:30 today, we should be right by 2:30 today. That's a pre-settlement inspection from buying a property in New South Wales.
Yeah, so this is how we're currently looking. Dan, the owner's done a really good job of getting it as empty as possible. That's the front door we came through, but you can see there's still a little bit of stuff to come out. That's what I mean. Don't wait for for a hoover and a bit of brush to come out. Just get the pre-settlement done as an agent. I think you've got to get it done. You've got to get it done nice and early, where you've got an opportunity to get the photos back and make sure you've got the opportunity to do a FaceTime if you need it. That's a big thing. So don't leave it too late. You can see here, a little bit of work in the kitchen still. That's all right, no problem. And
now, before we go, when it does go wrong, this is what lawyers do. When it does go wrong, the purchaser goes back to their lawyer and go, "Oh my God, you won't believe it. They've left all this rubbish under the house." Is one. They've left this rubbish under the house. It's going to cost thousands to get that fixed. I'm not going to settle until that rubbish gets removed. Now, obviously, there's not enough time if that was going to happen on the same day of pre-settlement inspection. So sometimes lawyers nominate a figure or a stake and hold that back until that rubbish is gone. So they may say, look, let the $1 million sale happen, let it settle, and hold back $3,000 for the next 14 days until that rubbish is being removed from under the house. So often the quickest fix is just holding back a little bit of cash.
It's true. Like it's, I think about, it's usually the smallest things, not the biggest. All of this is worked around communication as well. If we organise these appointments 2 weeks out, as I said, in a best case scenario, a day or two before settlement, it's all about communication. Even in the tricky instances, it's still, these small things, they're generally worked out well in advance. And let's face it, if everyone's, got the same intention, which is to, get the property settled so the buyer can move in and the seller can move on, it generally works out okay.
And let's stay positive, guys. It is another time you get to view the property that you purchased. It is the day that you are going to be settling and taking the keys for the property you've purchased. You have worked so long and so hard for this moment. It all happens on that day. Enjoy your pre-settlement inspection, is what I say.
Agreed, very much agreed. That is a pre-settlement inspection. We're here in DY, 7:30 in the morning, and yeah, change of ownership today. It's very exciting.
Billy, thanks.
Thank you, Mark. 10-minute episode.
Have a great Monday, everyone. See ya.
Bye.